For our experiment, we wanted to test the effectiveness of Tide detergent against Tide Pods with 4 treatments: washing a load of stained laundry with 1 Tide Pod, 2 Tide Pods, 1 cup of detergent equal in amount to a Tide Pod, and 2 cups of detergent. We started with preparing the black tea to use as a stainer. While the tea was brewing, we cut up 3 identical cotton shirts into equally sized squares that we could dye. After checking all conditions and randomly assigning treatments, we laid out saran wrap on the floor to dye the fabric on so that all the liquid would soak through, and dyed the first treatment group, the 1 Tide Pod treatment. Every square of fabric was dyed with a half teaspoon of tea and was concentrated at the center. After waiting a set amount of time for the tea to dry, we put the fabric into the wash and began dyeing our second treatment group, the 2 Tide Pod treatment. After our first treatment was finished in the wash, we took pictures of every piece of fabric under consistent lighting conditions for Chris to put into ImageJ, a stain analysis program that places numerical values on the darkness and intensity of it. It works by scanning a selected region of it until it finds the edge of the stain, then outlines the object and measures the integrated density of the region, which means a lower value results in a less intense stain and a higher value results in a more intense stain. While waiting for the second load to finish drying, we stained the third load, the 1 serving of detergent treatment. Then we washed our second load, took pictures of each square, and prepared 24 milliliters of detergent for the third load, the exact amount of product that goes into a Tide Pod. Finally, while waiting for the third load to finish drying, we stained the fourth load, the 2 servings of detergent treatment. We then washed and photographed the third load. After a quick study session while the fourth load was drying, we put the last load of fabric into a washer, and after waiting for it to wash, photographed our last load to analyze the stains. We ended up with 120 photos over 4 treatment groups and 30 squares of fabric per treatment.
With all the gathered data values, we were able to conduct multiple 2-sample t-tests for the difference in the mean numerical intensity between the treatments. The first test compared the 1 Tide Pod and 1 amount of the Tide detergent treatments and produced a p-value of 0.000537, resulting in the rejection of the null hypothesis and indicating convincing evidence for a difference in the mean numerical intensity between the 2 treatments. The second test between the 2 Tide Pods and the 2 amount of detergent, and the third test between 1 Tide Pod and 2 amounts of Tide detergent resulted in p-values of 0.0299 and 3.097 times 10 to the negative 10 respectively, and also had convincing evidence of a difference. The last test between 1 amount of detergent and 2 Tide Pods failed to reject the null hypothesis with a p-value of 0.0909, indicating there wasn't convincing evidence of a difference between the 2 treatments. From these conclusions, our statistical question can be answered by saying that there is a difference between the efficacy of Tide Pods and Tide detergent. However, our inference has limitations to which it can be applied. Furthermore, our experiment wasn't perfect. One main source of error was the staining pattern of the cloth and how it wasn't consistent due to uncontrollable method of staining used and the inability to completely flatten the plastic wrap the fabric was drying on. For further experimentation, a more precise method of staining can be used and other fabrics and stainers can be tested.